Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Sippin'. Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Learn what mistakes not to make with women in the dating scene with Stop Simping. Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Available in paperback and online booksellers today. Demario Jackson, or as I like to call him, the Super Demario brother, shows me a textbook example of what David Carroll has talked about in numerous videos. And that is that the Afro-American Negro male is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, nor is he the brightest bulb on the tree. And when we look at this Super Demario brother, we see a guy who is pretty much on his third life, and his game is just about to be over, and it's all going to be over due to dumb stuff that he has done. Now, your Super Demario brother cost himself his first life when he was on The Bachelorette. And when he was on The Bachelorette, he went outside with Rachel when they were playing the basketball game and was confronted by his white girlfriend. And when he did that, he pretty much lost his first life when he was bounced off the screen by Rachel in that episode of The Bachelorette. Now, your Super Demario is not a very smart guy, because you think after getting bounced off of this reality show and pretty much costing yourself your first game life, you would pretty much come up with a new strategy to last a little bit longer in the game. But no, your Super Demario, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, nor is he the brightest bulb on the tree. But so he decides he's going to go out here after he got bounced off the screen with Rachel in that confrontation with that one white girlfriend who he pretty much left without even saying a word about, or a word to. He decides to go back to the mansion to beg and plead to get another chance, pretty much wasting his second life. Now, usually in video games they give you 3 lives, but your Super Demario blows 1 chance, and then he goes to the mansion, and instead of him trying to do things a little differently, like charge this woman to the game and keep it moving, your Super Demario, what he does is he's going to go there and try to beg to get another chance. And that pretty much leads to him getting bounced off the screen even faster than a guy running into a Goomba in Super Mario Brothers game as regular Mario. He didn't even get any coins, he didn't get any magic mushrooms, all he got was pretty much bounced off the screen, and then we heard the music, and then it was pretty much, he was on his third life. Now, when your Super Demario gets his third life, instead of coming up with a new strategy to pretty much move on, which is what any other smart game player would do, Super Demario, no, he decides he's going to go on this Bachelorette in Paradise, and then he gets drunk, and then he has carnal relations with this white female. And by doing this, he pretty much is headed towards game over, because now the drunken white female is saying that she thinks she was assaulted by this Super Demario brother, and the Super Demario brother is pretty much, he doesn't even understand where he's headed, and that is towards game over, because he's just not a very smart guy. And what's really sad about this Super Demario is that he just doesn't understand the game of life as it relates to African American men. Now, you would think after having that row on The Bachelorette and costing yourself that opportunity because you were trying to play Rachel while you were with this white woman, you would learn, to just pull it back. But no, he goes on Bachelorette in Paradise, gets involved with this white woman, and pretty much shows us that he is just not a very smart Negro. And what's really sad about this Super Demario is that he just doesn't seem to have any critical thinking skills about his social interactions with white women. You would think that if one white woman cost you an opportunity to be on a show, and then a black woman pretty much bounced you, and then you wouldn't think to just get involved with another white woman, especially one who is drunk, and put yourself in a precarious situation of he said, she said. But no, this Demario, again, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, not the brightest bulb on the tree. And you would think if this guy had some critical thinking skills, he would be thinking about pulling back his interactions, especially with white women, after seeing the aftermath of what's going on right now with Bill Cosby. You think he would be looking at the news and saying to himself, you know what, I need to pretty much keep my distance from these white females because all it takes is for one situation to arise and I can be the new brute du jour that is pretty much presented in the media as the next black brute. But no, your Demario is not thinking logically. He's thinking emotionally, and he's thinking about all the fame and attention he's getting, not understanding that the media is out to make him into a black brute. And that's what they pretty much started setting up the stage for in The Bachelorette, where they showed him as this player type and then bounced him off that show. And then on The Bachelor in Paradise, they're pretty much setting him up on the stage to being the next black brute by having this white woman say that she was assaulted by him. And then everybody's thinking of him as this black brute, this black man who's around lusting after white women, and he's pretty much breathing new life into that old stereotype by his behavior, because he pretty much acts like an emotional Negro who has an insatiable lust and is controlled primarily by his penis, because this guy just isn't thinking logically. He's not thinking about how his behavior is going to impact not only himself but black men in general, because his behavior pretty much is breathing new life into this old stereotype of this black brute, that this black man pretty much, when you put him around white women, he pretty much becomes lustful and out of control, and he cannot control himself or his emotions. And this is not really a good thing for him to be doing right now, especially after this whole Bill Cosby assault trial and many other black men in the media being presented this way. And the sad part is, this is supposed to be a college-educated black man, but he shows absolutely no common sense. Now, when I was 20 years old, I learned a hard lesson about interacting with white women from the O.J. Simpson trial, and that pretty much stayed with me for the last 23 years. When I watched that slow-speed Bronco chase, I began to understand why it's important for a black man to pretty much maintain some distance in his social interactions with white women and pretty much watch himself in his interactions with white women, because all it takes is for things to go wrong one way and you can wind up like OJ. And even before then, I learned from Emmett Till in the tragic episode that happened with him, all because this white female lied, that something bad could happen to a black man if he's in the wrong place in the wrong time. And this female pretty much feels like she wants to do something, she can pin it all on you. And this is the sad part about your Demario Jackson, is that he doesn't understand the history regarding black men and white women. He's just out here running around thinking he can just get any white woman, not understanding that there are consequences for getting involved with white females, and those consequences can pretty much cost you your freedom, and possibly your life. So this guy is really sad when you think about him, because he just doesn't understand where he's going and what's going to happen to him sooner rather than later. All it takes is for this female to say that she was assaulted by this Demario, and it's going to be game over for him, and it's going to lead to a lot of other black men's lives being put at risk, because all it takes is for one white woman to say that this black man has done something for everybody to start believing that he's a brute, and then that makes people think that other black men are brutes out here. And all he's doing, again, is promoting the whole concept of the black brute, and the media is portraying him as a black brute, and this guy pretty much is clueless to how he's being presented in the media. And it's really sad, again, what's really sad is that he doesn't have any type of education or knowledge to understand the historical context of black men and white women. And that's why you have to really watch yourself when you're out here, especially when you're interacting with white women, because all it takes is for her to say one thing, and your whole life can be pretty much upended. And when I look at Super Demario Jackson, his life is about to be upended, because he just doesn't have any sort of common sense, and he never got an education to teach him how to watch himself in his interactions with white women. If you like what you see on this channel, you can donate to the Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some SJS Direct titles to improve the quality of your life, such as the Stop Simping series, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.